Hey, I'm Dalton Ross. Welcome back to Entertainment Weekly's coverage of Comic-Con, and I'm here with the stars of The Punisher on Netflix, John Bernthal and Deborah Woll. Guys, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Most important question. Do they allow dogs on the set of The Punisher? Because I know you got a few. I know you got a few pit bulls. Didn't know. Are they welcome or not?
You know, they have to sign an NDA. That's like the most important part.
Keep
That's
it tight.
first and foremost. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious what sort of like the feel or the tone of this show is going to be, because all Marvel shows have their own feel. Even like, you know, you had Luke Cage, who was on Jessica Jones, but then you had the Luke Cage show that felt different from Jessica Jones. What's the feel for the Punisher? Is it kind of like Daredevil, or is it different, or what do you think?
Well, he doesn't have any powers, so I think we're talking about a sort of more grounded, gritty, real look. I don't know. John's actually seen some of it.
What?
Oh boy. You know, look, I think that I think all day is going to be sort of trying to hurdle what we can say and what we can't say. But I do think that you know, the one thing I can give you is, I think with Frank and with the world that he's very much involved in, is he's a soldier, you know, and so I think there will be very much a military component of the show, and I think it's gonna it will be somewhat centered in that. I probably wasn't allowed to say that.
That's
You think I was allowed to say that? I said
that's
it.
established.
You guys are gonna rewind and does that work like that? Rewind. And,
Take two.
Yeah.
What is I mean, how has he changed, if at all, since we last saw him?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna have to, you know, tune in and watch. But I mean, the only thing I can give you is that Karen will be there, and I think at the end of the day, that's all that anyone's gonna really care about. You know what I mean?
And apparently you're going to be in the Defenders, because I saw a trailer that just dropped, and we see Frank Castle at the very end of that trailer. I know you're not going to say anything about that either. I'm just...
Sucks, dude. I'll talk about it. We talk about sports.
Yeah. So the Skins?
Yeah, dude, right on, man. Yeah, that's kind of a mess right now. But yeah, here's to hoping.
We've been hoping for a long time, Joe. We've been hoping
I know.
for a long time. All right, tell me about, like, sort of, let's talk about Karen and how she views. We saw them on looking at Daredevil, like sort of forming a relationship and bond a little bit as she worked on his case and stuff. Where is she at now when we pick things up?
Yeah, I mean, I think Frank has a soft spot in Karen's heart, and certainly with the dark history that Karen has, there's very few people that she can share her true, authentic self with. Certainly Matt, with his Catholicism and not wanting to kill anybody and things like that, would have trouble understanding some of the decisions that Karen has made. And I think Frank is someone who could understand, who she could potentially fully open up to. So yeah, I think she's always excited to come back into Frank's arena.
What was it with the evolution of this character since you first started playing her at the beginning of Daredevil season 1? We've seen her really grow a lot.
Yeah.
She's not going to tell me anything.
Oh,
I'm trying. Listen, I'm trying.
No,
You're
I
too
mean,
good.
there's been a huge evolution. I mean, I think we keep getting little peeks that she is more than what she appears. I think sometimes people who represent light in this world are doing so because they're deathly afraid that actually they are the darkest thing. So I think that drive to make things better and find the truth is because she lives with a lot of deceit and lies about her own self and her own life.
John, what sort of research did you do when you first looked at this character? I mean, did you look at the different arcs of the comics? Did you look at the different portrayals on screen that have happened before? Did you chuck that all out the window and just come at it fresh? What was your sort of approach?
I mean, still, you know, that's one of the sort of great joys of the part. You know, is diving in and trying to take in everything and everything I possibly can in every iteration of the character that in comics and in movies. I've said before, I love the Dirty Laundry, the little short film that Thomas Jane made. I thought that was great, and you know, and taking as much as I can. I mean, as far as that part of the research, and then there's sort of the research that you have to do based on the scripts and based on the version that these guys, you know, starting with Marco and Doug and what they were trying to do with Daredevil, and you know, I'm deeply appreciative that this character, the character that I get to play, got to start on that show. I thought that they did an unbelievable job with it, and I love those scripts. I really thought that was sort of a origins tale for Frank, and I love the way that they treated it. I thought they did it with respect, and they did it with, they were not afraid to pull punches, and they were brave enough to let the character turn his back on the audience and be as both as brutal as he needs to be, but also as to live in a world that's extremely dark. And I've said before, I think Garth Ennis's take is sort of the one that I responded to the most, and I really felt in Frank's origins tale on Daredevil, I really dug that.
How do you get to that dark place? And you've had to do this with Shane before, obviously, on The Walking Dead too. But I mean, like, especially in Daredevil, when we first meet him, this guy is just rage and anger. And how do you put yourself in that position on a daily basis?
Look, I think that I think that I've said before. I think that the Frank Castle that was in Daredevil was not the Punisher. You know, he's a guy who's still reeling from this unbelievable traumatic event that happened to him, and look, you know, I'm a father and I'm a husband, and that kind of comes before anything else, and I don't think I'd be able to play the part if I wasn't that, and you know, until you know and understand about loving something much more than yourself and be absolutely willing to die for that thing, can you begin to understand what it would be like if that was taken away from you. And Frank's a character that I empathize with deeply, and you know, he's in my heart, and I hope so much that that folks dig this show and this version of him. You know,
You guys are veterans of Comic-Con, obviously True Blood, Walking Dead. Is it nice to come here and be able to run into some of your friends or former coworkers in the hallways and here and there as you're doing all this stuff?
Yeah, this is my 9th Comic-Con,
Wow.
I think, at this point. So yeah, you know, like, I know the guy who takes your pictures, and I know. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I like that I know the drill. Sometimes these things are a little scary, so it's nice to be like, oh no, I know that room. I know Ballroom 20. I know, you know, like, I have a feel for it.
The same. I mean, I kind of forget. I've been hitting the head a lot. I forget a lot of stuff. So, but for me, yeah, you know, seeing old friends. You know, I saw Sarah Wayne Callies last night. You know, I'll see Norman and Andy and Melissa tonight, and you know, that Walking Dead group. That's my family. You know, they like, I love those guys.
One of our costume crew is here too, so I might try and find Sarah. That'd be good. Yeah, it's fun to sort of.
But I'm being able to see. I'm actually, I don't read my emails. I guess I didn't realize that we were gonna be together all day, and like, that is like the biggest. That is my gift for the day. Like, today is a win for me because I get to be with the most badass actress out there. Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, we've loved your work on so much stuff. Cannot wait to see the show when it finally debuts. We don't even have a date yet. I have a feeling maybe you'll be announcing something here at Comic-Con. That's sort of my guess. But they're not going to tell me that either. So we'll just have to find out when the Punisher eventually does debut. John Bernthal, Deborah, and Woll, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
For sure. Thank you.
We'll be back with more on Entertainment Weekly's coverage of Comic-Con.